Survivors of the Holocaust speaking out against this month's deadly attack on Israel and against the surge of anti-Semitism around the world. Our next guest was only 9 years old when he escaped Nazi Germany, joining his father in the United States with his mother and brother in 1939. But before their escape, he witnessed Kristallnacht, also known as the Night of Broken Glass, the horrific and violent two-day pogrom against Jews. He says he sees shocking similarities between what he experienced in the 1930s Germany to what we are seeing happening today. Erwin Ganz joins me now. Erwin, thank you so much for being here. Your story is one that needs to be told and retold. Did you ever imagine...
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. What we saw on October 7th, 2 weeks ago, did you ever think we would see something that brought us back to the imagery of what was experienced during the Holocaust, sir?
Never. It really upset me when I saw on October 7th what they did as far as the people that died and also the buildings that were then destroyed. This is exactly the same thing that happened in Germany in 1938, November 9th, 1938 and November 10th. This is what happened during that period of time. Now, let me go back a little bit. What happened
Sure.
In Germany? I was 5 years old and ready for school, but I could not go to school because the German people, the government, the Nazis, the Gestapo said no students, no Jewish students can go into school in Germany. So my parents had to do was to find a Jewish school, which is about 35 miles from home. I had to use a train every morning to go to the school in Wittlich, Germany. Now I have here my last ticket that that my parents purchased for me. You have it on the screen here.
Yes.
Here it is. This ticket here is about 90 years old. When I came home from the school on November 9th, my mother was waiting for me at the train station. And she had, which was not the usual. I usually walked a short distance back home from the train station. She had a banana with her, which was strange also. She gave me the banana so that I would not be terrified of what I was going to see. As we walked home, I saw glass on the street, and in our front yard, all of our windows were broken. And as I walked inside the house, I saw that the Nazi youth, the Hitler Jugend, the Nazi youth, with a hatchet, tore up all of our sofas, our chairs, smashed the pictures on the walls, and did a lot of damage downstairs. Upstairs in our bedrooms were heated by coal-fired burning ovens. These were ripped from the foundation and thrown onto the beds. I'll never forget that sight as long as I live.
No doubt. Your father had already fled, right? And they were there. That was there to terrorize you.
My father. Yes, my father. My grandmother, one of the smartest women. She saw what was coming after Hitler was nominated in 1933. Anti-Semitism was getting worse by the day. And she saw that we had to get out of Germany. But the big problem was, where could we move to? It was very difficult to come into the United States because you had to have a sponsor. The sponsor had to put money into the bank so that you would not be a burden to the state. And this sponsor only had enough funds for one person. And it was decided that my father should leave. Thank God he did.
And then he communicated with your mother, and eventually you were able to join him.
Eventually, that's correct. Now let me tell you a story. Before my father left, he and my mother made a arrangement to tell him what's going on in Germany, because every letter that was sent out, the Gestapo looked at and made sure that there was nothing against Hitler. What she did was snip a lock of my hair, and put it into the envelope that told my father that everything was still okay. Letters that did not have this lock of hair told him that things were getting worse and he better get us out of the country.
Amazing.
Now, let me explain also.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think it's a reminder of sheer evil that existed, a targeting of the Jewish people for who they were, that we're seeing again. I mean, when you look at these protests that are happening across the country immediately after the terrorist attack, effectively siding with Hamas, does it surprise you that these viewpoints still exist?
They still exist, and it's getting worse in this country also. Let me go back on Kristallnacht. That night, the Gestapo, the Nazis, destroyed all of the Jewish-owned stores. They broke the windows in the stores, they stole all the merchandise, and then they set the stores on fire throughout Germany. It was a difficult evening. And also I remember when I went to bed, all of a sudden the door opened downstairs and two Gestapo men came with their dog. They looked around and wanted to find my father. My father, thank God, was already in America. And I also remember that both of them stood at my bedroom door, shone a flashlight onto the bed. But what they did, they turned around and they left. Now, at that time, they did not take children and women. However, that changed very shortly thereafter, where they took everybody. After Kristallnacht, which was November 10th, 90 Jewish men were murdered, and it was a disaster. We could not walk out of our house because the young Jewish young Jewish boys used to march past our house and made all kinds of comments. Next to our house, where we lived we moved from Frankfurt after Hitler came to power. My father lost his job. We moved to a small town called Bernkastel-Kues, which was on the Moselle. And we lived there, and we at that time, next to our house in Bernkastel-Kues, there was a tavern, and this tavern at night the Gestapo used to go there and have a good time, and they used to sing songs about killing the Jews. Now you can imagine we were in a house next door. And we were very, very, it was just a terrible situation.
I can't imagine, Erwin, and we got to leave it right there, but the comparison I immediately came to mind while you spoke, as a 5-year-old there, are the 5-year-olds who were on those kibbutzes in the south of Israel who woke up to terrorists in their communities wanting to kill them. The hatred of Jews and the destruction of the Jewish people, the thread line from the Gestapo to Hamas is clear and is something the Jewish people have had to fight back against and will continue to. And you're a living testament to it, sir. Right. Erwin Ganz, thank you so much for sharing your story with us this morning. God bless you, sir. Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.